Top 10 most powerful cards, in my opinion, from Infinite Forbidden. You guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys do not miss out on more awesome content. So we're going to start with the Madolche Queen Tierra La Fraiche. Now, actually, I think the Madolche cards in this set were pretty cool power-ups for what they tried to do. I'm just really mad that, you know, my ulti Tiramisu gets laid on top of by this this super. Anybody else a little bit just kind of about that? Well, I guess that's the reality of the situation out here. Is Madolche going to become a better deck? No, but this was enough of a power-up across the board to kind of show people some level of excitement and just, you know, have the candy treat enjoyers out here have a very, very nice power-up for this. So I am going to leave the Madolche stuff in the top 10. This set was a very interesting one to assess because, like, you have a very clear line in the sand where the best cards are and then where some of the not-so-crazy cards are. Next up is Dominus Purge. Wow. So this card allows you out of 3 attributes, okay, after its use when activated from the hand. I understand that's a little bit off-putting to some people, and maybe this will get tossed into stuff like Madolche. You'll get tossed into stuff like, what is it, Ostinato Turbo out here as well. And I guess Voiceless Voice would possibly have an appreciation to want to use this. From where I'm sitting right now, I think Dominus Purge is an extremely good card. I think a lot of people are underestimating its price point. Seeing this card pre-selling at like $10 is amazing to me. But if it truly does maintain a cheap price point, and so many people out here are so quick to just toss this card into, you know, the waste bin and be like, I don't want this, that's going to be extremely good for the budget players. So I think Dominus Purge is an absolute win, not only for its effect, but because of its current projected price point. Next up is the Silhat Rabbit. So if this card maintains a very cheap price point, I think the chance for people to have this card for their decks is really good. The ability to pull out any trap monster out of like your utility of options so that you are able to use it is personally really, really strong. I love that. There are so many trap monsters in the game that, you know, might not have a utility option right now, but it's enough that you look at all of this and you're like, wow, a card that makes all of these different things playable just by its existence is extremely awesome. And I love that. I actually hope for the best out here, that we see the Rabbit maintain, you know, $15 to $20 on the long term, just so, I mean, it's not an SP Little Knight, but not every deck is going to dedicate a slot to Azarune, you know, so it comes down to what can we make the best use of this? And so forth. I'm all about that. Next up is the gimmick puppet stuff. Let's call it what it is here. You know, you have an FTK coming. You know, sometimes the FTK misses. It's not always about the consistent side of things across the board here. And we do know that there are issues. It happens, all right? There's not really much that you can do about it. But the gimmick puppet stuff has an entirely different power level in the course of this set. And I think a lot of people are going to be looking at this, not only for it being, you know, gimmick puppets and, you know, dare I say, the gimmicks that come with it, but people genuinely love this deck. People want the chance to mess around with the quirks and the abilities that you can see that this deck can do, and I think that's going to be an absolute W for people out here. So, good news, everybody. Get your gimmick puppet FTK BS ready to go. Yeah, interesting, to say the least. All right, what else we got cooking back here? We also have a Memento Combined Conqueror out here. Now, I will say that the Memento stuff is a absolute W. I think that what they've done with the Memento stuff is very, very strong, and I am super excited about that. I think that the ceiling for the Memento deck is crazy, and you have a lot to kind of work with here for what you can kind of throw at the table, but let's call it what it is here. The Memento cards and the fact that, you know, they're already high rarity the fact that they're like, hey, you know, here's your big piece of the puzzle, and let's see what we can do with this. All right, and they've done a fantastic job at that. So we take those. All right, next up here is the white wood stuff. Now, the white forest cards in general, I'm gonna be honest with you. They feel like they could be a little bit of a miss. I don't necessarily think that that's a bad thing, but you know, you combine these with Runic, maybe Centurion for your combo packages. Your overall ability for these cards is really, really strong. So do not underestimate what, you know, even being able to book a moon on your opponent's turn for defensive options is really, really strong, all right? Like, especially if you're going first. The utility synchro plays that these decks can pull off is absolutely insane. You know what I'm talking about. You like those utility options that you can pull off, be able to use as defensive options, and keep things going. Alright, like, that is an absolute good thing out here. And a little bit expensive, but it's fine. Marchummy Perulia. You know, the Marchummy stuff might not be the greatest thing in the world to a lot of players, but it is a new up-and-coming side deck card. It is going to give people some major excitement and a major chance to see what we can actually kind of toss at the wall and see what we can come up with. I know, right? It's a little bit rough out here, you know, looking at a potential price point for this, but I'm going to be honest with you. Any card that, you know, can act as a discount maxi until we actually get to the actual maxi, I think is fine. People want side deck options that are good, and, you know, that's fine. You just have to be able to filter them into the community and let them see what they can actually try out here to come up with the best possible combinations of things. And I think Marchummy actually will allow that to actually happen. I mean, the keeping cards in your hand at the end, randomly shuffling back can be a little bit rough, but that's fine. Genroku, oh, the Tenpai Dragon, Lone Fire Blossom, special summon it as a tuner, laugh at your opponent all the way out to, you know, the laughing point. This card turns Tenpai into a completely different creature. I mean, yeah, you have the little Pogi Drago in here. I guess you can give him an honorable mention on this, you know, piece here too, but I think, to be honest with you here, that the whole Tenpai package is about to explode. You're about to watch this deck undergo a crazy evolution. And I think a lot of people underestimate what there is to come with this. All right, do not underestimate just bam, 30,000 damage. Where'd that truck come from? Isekai-kun? Yep. That's... I bet you didn't see that one coming, just like Truck-kun didn't see you coming. I love to see the random complaints that come out of all of the badness with this set. Next up is the Necroquip Princess. I think this card is nuts. So it's a monster equipped with a monster, or yeah, monster equipped with a monster. You heard me say that correctly. And a fiend monster. And it can be special summoned from the extra deck by sending the above cards from your hand and or field to the graveyard. And you can only control one of these. So technically, if a Fiendsmith is equipped with a Requiem, according to people, they're saying you can just send that, and then you can make this. Which is kind of interesting, but okay. If a monster is sent from the hand to the graveyard to activate a card effect, you can activate one of these effects. We can equip one of those monsters to this card as an equip spell card, and give this thing 500, or you can draw a card. You already know which effect you're choosing. This is another level 6 as an actual stepping stone for the insanity that is Beatrice. I'm going to be honest with you. We get ever so closer to watching Beatrice get wiped out of the course of the game. And it is one step at a time. And then we have Fiendsmith. This is like a no-brainer. The Fiendsmith stuff in this set, while there are very comparable cards that are extremely good, and I mean extremely, extremely good. From where we're sitting right now, this is by far the biggest winner that we have had in a very long time. And I think a lot of people are going to underestimate things out here as to, you know, how things will go. So, if you're not looking at the Fiendsmith stuff as the best package of things that you could possibly want to see out here, well, expectations are a little bit off, but okay. So those are your top 10 cards out of Infinite Forbidden. So please, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace. patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.